Hey business besties, welcome in. I'm Chaila, founder of the Spiritual Socialpreneur, and this is a space for entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and purpose-driven business owners who know that they are called to build something meaningful, but they also know that purpose without structure will wear you out. Today we are talking about one of the biggest questions people ask when they feel that entrepreneurial itch. I think I want to start a business, but I don't know where to start. And I want to have that conversation in a way that people don't have it. Because usually when you say you want to start a business, somebody usually says, follow your passion, do what you love. If you love it, you'll never work a day in your life. I'm going to be honest with you. That advice sounds beautiful, but it's incomplete. Sometimes your passion needs to be protected. Sometimes what you love is too sacred to turn immediately into a product, a service, a content calendar, a checkout link. Sometimes the first question is not, what can I sell? Sometimes the first question is, what is my spirit actually trying to lead me toward? Sometimes your passion needs to be protected. Everything you love is not supposed to become your business just because you're good at it. Before you go spend money, before you go buy the domain, before you create the logo, before you file the LLC, before you order the inventory, before you announce anything, I want you to sit down with yourself. And I mean, really sit down with yourself. No noise, no scrolling, no outside opinions, no, girl, you should do this. No, you know what will make money? Just you, your gut, your spirit, and the truth. Because entrepreneurship is spiritual. People think business and spirituality do not go together. Yes, they absolutely do. Business requires discernment. Business requires alignment. Business requires intention. Business requires the ability to know when something is for you and when you're just dealing with a whole bunch of loud ideas. Business requires you to know the difference between a calling and a trend. And when you are starting a business, especially as a solopreneur, the business is going to be connected to you. Your capacity, your energy, your boundaries, your values, your life, your nervous system, your voice, your ability to keep showing up when the first 3 posts gets 2 likes and one of them is your cousin. So before you ask, what business should I start? Ask yourself, what keeps pulling on me? What problem do I keep noticing? What do people naturally come to me for? What can I talk about for hours without it feeling fake? What would I still care about even if I didn't go viral? Most importantly, what kind of work makes me feel more like myself and not less? And also ask, is this something I actually want to build a business around? Or is this something that I simply love and need to keep sacred? Those are not the same thing. Business requires you to know the difference between a calling and a trend. Starting a business begins with understanding the problem, the people, the market, and your differentiator. Because if you skip that part, you may end up with a closet full of supplies, a beautiful logo, a business name you love, and absolutely no clue on how to get a paying client. And that's not because you're not gifted. It's because you built before you studied. Business is not just creation. Business is observation. You have to look around. You have to pay attention. You have to understand who else is solving a similar problem, how they are solving it, who they are talking to, what people are buying, what people are complaining about, and where there may be space for you. That is market research. And no, market research is not optional. Buying things makes the business feel real, but it does not make the business ready. Let me say this clearly. Before you spend $600, $800, $1,000 on foundational documents, before you go pay somebody to write the full business plan, before you create your SOPs, before you go deep into branding, before you file your paperwork just because you're excited, do market research. Because it's one thing to already know what you want to do, but it's another thing to understand what already exists. And it's another thing entirely to know why someone should choose you. When you hear people talk about business, one thing that they are absolutely going to do is compare your business to another business that they know. They may not say it out loud, but they are doing it. And you may hear, oh, so it's like this. Oh, you do what such and such does. Oh, that's similar to that company. And that's not always a bad thing. Comparison helps people to understand. But you need to know your differentiator before they ask. You need to know what makes you different, not aspirationally, factually. Not who you hope to become one day. who you are right now. What do you do differently? What do you see that other people miss? What experience do you bring? What's your lens? What's your approach? Who are you best positioned to help? Why does your solution even matter? That's what market research helps you to answer. This is important. Your differentiator is not a fantasy. It's not a vibe you made up because you wanted the business to sound cute. It's not, we care about quality because, baby, everybody says that. It's not excellent customer service unless you can actually show what that means. Your differentiator has to be grounded in reality. In business, we have to tell the truth. You can be the visionary. You can be spiritual. You can be creative. You can be intuitive. But you cannot build a business on pretend. Aspirational branding will get you in trouble if the actual business cannot support the promise. This is how people drift into fraudulent territory without always meaning to. They are selling the version of the business that they hope it will become instead of the version the business can actually deliver. So start with what is true. Start with your real capacity. Start with your real experience. Start with the actual problem you can solve. You can grow from there. But do not build your first offer on a fantasy version of yourself. Your differentiator is not who you hope to become. Your differentiator is what is already true about how you go about solving the problem. Now let's talk about virality. Because we're in a very strange time where people are not just starting businesses. People are starting businesses hoping that they go viral. And I need you to hear me. Business is not for virality. Can your business go viral? Absolutely. Can a post about your business go viral? Absolutely. Can your educational content, your behind the scenes content, your story, your transformation, your client results, or your processes take off online? Yes. But if virality is the entire reason that you're starting the business, you may want to rethink the business and just start a personal brand. Because those are not always the same thing. A business needs to solve a problem. A business needs a buyer. A business needs a clear offer. A business needs a way to deliver. A business needs a client experience. A business needs revenue. A business needs systems. A viral moment can bring attention. You know, I'm not knocking that. But attention is not the same thing as infrastructure. Attention is not the same thing as trust. Attention is not the same thing as fulfillment. Attention is not the same thing as profit. And if you are not prepared, virality can expose the weaknesses in your business faster than it grows your revenue. So yes, create the content. Yes, be visible. Yes, tell your story. Yes, educate people. But do not confuse views with a business model. So at this point, we have not purchased anything yet. Okay? We have not filed anything yet. So before you start ordering the shirts and the candles, the lashes, the journals, the ring lights, and the shipping labels, and the business cards, and all that stuff, before all of that, we have sat with ourselves, we have listened, we have asked what our spirit is willing us towards in business. We have identified a direction. We have begun to identify our distinction from other businesses. We have done the market research. We've studied the people in the space. And now we can begin building the foundation. Now, only now. This is where your foundational documents are going to begin to matter. Your business plan, your plan of action, your value proposition statement, your capability statement, your mission, your vision, your offer, your operating procedures, your content pillars, your client journey, your basic financial structure, your marketing strategy. But I want you to notice the order. The documents come after the clarity, because documents do not create clarity by themselves. They organize it. If you end up paying someone to create business documents before you've done the internal work and market research, you may end up with something beautiful that does not actually fit the business that you're building. So just remember that your foundational documents do not create clarity by themselves. They organize the clarity that you already did the work to find. Now I'm going to stop here for today, because this next part deserves its very own mini lesson. But I still want to give you the preview. Once you have clarity, research, and differentiation, you have to understand that your brand is not just a logo. Your brand is an ecosystem. Your colors, your voice, your visuals, your website, your captions, your offers, your customer service, your emails, your booking process, your payment process, your social media presence, the way you follow up. All of that, my friend. All of that, business bestie. All of that is the brand. Your brand is how people experience your business before you realize they're even interacting with it. Someone may see your post today. Someone may click your page tomorrow, join your email list next month, and buy from you 3 whole months from now. The client experience starts before you know it starts. That's why everything needs to feel cohesive, not perfect, cohesive. Because people need to understand the world that they have entered when they come across you. So your brand is not a logo. Your brand is the world people enter when they come across your business. So here is your starting point. If you think you want to start a business, I need you to do these 5 things before you start spending money. Number 1, sit with yourself. Ask what your spirit is leading you towards. Number 2, protect what needs to remain sacred. Everything you love does not need to be monetized. Number three, do the market research. Study what already exists, who is buying, what they need, and where there's room for you. Number 4, name your factual differentiator, not who you hope to become, who you already are, and how you already solve problems differently. Number 5, build the foundation only after you have clarity. Then you can create the document, the offers, the website, the content, and the systems that support the business. This is how you start from alignment instead of panic. This is how you build from truth instead of trend. This is how you avoid spending money just to feel like you're making progress. Does that make sense? And this is how you actually begin to build a business that can hold the life that you actually say you want. If this resonated with you, business besties, I want you to do 2 things for me today. First, comment below and tell me what business idea keeps pulling on you. Not the polished version, not the elevator pitch, just the honest idea that just won't leave you alone. Second, subscribe to this channel because this is just the beginning of a full mini lesson series for the Spiritual Socialpreneur. We are going to talk about business, money, visibility, community, offers, systems, rest, capacity, and how to build a business without abandoning yourself in the process. Because business is not just about what you sell, it's about who you're becoming in the process. And I want you to be someone who can carry the dream without losing yourself. Until next time, business besties, I'll see you in the next mini lesson.